Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. We have an amazing show for everybody today. What do we have, Crystal?
Indeed, we do. Lots of big news breaking here and internationally. It looks like that Ukrainian counteroffensive has, in fact, begun. So we'll bring you all of those details. Also, some pretty stunning details about the way the media has been covering this conflict that we must get into as well. Some big developments in terms of 2024. We've actually got a new contender, Cornell West. Dr. West is joining the race as a People's Party candidate. We also have some new tea leaves. Looks like Trump may be indicted again quite imminently. So we'll tell you about that. Big story in the UFO world. A whistleblower has come forward alleging that they have actually recovered craft. We've got a guest on to talk about this. Saagar is chomping at the bit to dig into this one
Yeah.
as well. So, yeah, give you all the details there. We've got new charges filed against Binance, largest crypto exchange platform in the world, and some pretty stunning revelations from within there, the discovery process, some texts that are pretty damning in terms of their case. And a quite interesting exchange between Senator Tim Scott, who is running for president, and the ladies of the View that we want to talk about as well. Before we get to any of that, though, there is a reason why we are doing the show remotely instead of in any studio. Sagar, what is that reason?
Yeah, the reason is that as we've said, last time you guys have to hear about it, we are building that brand new beautiful set that it's all coming together. It is absolutely stunning for a big debut next week. As a reminder, premium subscribers will get a very first look at the set. We will be announcing very soon via email. So if you want to become a premium subscriber, it's breakingpoints.com, not only to get a first look, but also to help us with the expenses. The largest expense in the history of Breaking Points. It's basically like we bought several cars and houses over there, Crystal. But the reason why is because we believe very much in investing in the show, giving everybody the premium and the best experience possible, and making sure that we are absolutely 100% ready and set. We've got some great guests already lined up for the first week that I
Hmm.
think everybody's going to be really, really excited about, and honestly,
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
shocked once they debut. So I'm pumped. I really am. And yeah, we still got a great show though for everybody here. Counterpoints tomorrow, and then we'll have another show on Thursday remotely.
Yeah, and actually, Sagar and I got our first look at the
Yes,
studio yesterday, and it is quite, I mean, it is quite
I
stunning.
was
I
blown
am
away. Yeah.
totally blown away. It is amazing. I can't believe it's our new home. So can't wait to share it with all of you guys. Before we jump into the show, just apologies for my voice. Struggling with a cold. I actually feel a lot better, but sound a bit worse. You know, that phase of the cold. So bear with me today. My apologies in advance.
The brutal summer cold comes for us all. Okay, let's go ahead and
These kids are killing me. Let me tell you, it's been brutal this whole year.
I'm sure all parents can probably sympathize. All right, let's go ahead and get to the Ukraine counteroffensive. We'll put this up there on the screen. Indications from the intelligence community leaking to the U.S. media and also from the Russians saying that the Ukrainian counteroffensive has begun. Kyiv is denying that the counteroffensive has begun, but a lot of stuff is being picked up on open source satellites showing some movement across several key areas of the front. The biggest development, however, happened overnight in US time with the collapse of a major dam in southern Ukraine, which has triggered a major emergency. Both Moscow and Kyiv are actually blaming each other for the collapse of the dam. So I'm going to go ahead and give everybody here the details. The dam is in the part of southern Ukraine, which is actually controlled by Moscow. So the collapse has now triggered floods and is actually now endangering the largest nuclear power plant inside of Ukraine, which is currently under Russian control. Not only that, is actually currently threatening drinking water supplies for both sides of the war as they're currently trying to evacuate residents and are blaming each other. So, as I said, Ukraine is currently accusing the Russian forces of blowing up the Kakova Dam and the hydroelectric power station. Russian officials are saying that Ukrainian military strikes in the contested area are the ones that are responsible. Of course, nobody can verify what exactly is going on here, but of really immediate concern is all of the people in this area. It's obviously a disaster whenever you're triggering a major flood like this. Two, the downstream and emergency crews who are having evacuations are rushing to get people out of there. But then finally is really that nuclear power plant, which has been at the center of so much consternation just because of scares of an accident, and especially because everyone here knows I'm pro nuclear. But of course, it's like whenever a foreign government is going to invade, take it over, and then effectively try to weaponize said nuclear power plant, that's when things get a little bit tricky, right? And same would be safe for any other type of energy station, and clearly this is now being contested. It's probably, Krystal, one of those where we will never know who is responsible, but I mean, it's a blow obviously to Russia because this is something now that they have to deal with because it's in their territory, and also it was in, oh yeah, it's in territory that they controlled, and now they have to divert resources. But also, Ukraine, if they do want to recapture their own territory, it's not something that you want it to necessarily be devastated. So I'm not even entirely sure yet about who benefits from this. It's just a humanitarian
Same.
catastrophe. Yeah.
Same. And I mean, anytime you're talking about targeting civilian infrastructure, this is a disaster. It's honestly a war crime. And this was a hugely important dam in terms of electricity and energy generation within Ukraine. So not only the flooding, not only the concerns about the nuclear plant, but also some, real concerns about power generation, which obviously is critical for people's lives as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really sad. And, actually, missiles continue to rain down on Kyiv, and just absolutely brutal attacks all over civilian infrastructure. Let's go ahead and put this on the screen. Zelensky saying, "quote We are ready for the counteroffensive." This comes a month after he gave another interview where he said that the counteroffensive was beginning. So, don't necessarily take it all to the bank. But
Well,
anyway,
and what I thought was interesting in this interview
mm,
too is he really sort of downplayed expectations for
yep,
what they would be able to achieve in the counteroffensive. He also, sounded some of the notes that he sounded before about. On the one hand, he would express a lot of gratitude for the amount of support he's received. On the other hand, he would express a lot of frustration that there wasn't even more flowing to him and more rapidly, which,
yes,
I guess understandable. But he says, I would not want such a country with regards to China to stand by and watch people die. So also still not totally, sort of severing the Chinese relationship, being hopeful in some way, or I guess holding out some sort of possibility that China could be a good actor here in terms of brokering an eventual peace. But those to me were the most noteworthy parts of that interview.
yeah. Let me read here what he said. Quote, "We strongly believe we will succeed. However, I don't know how long it will take. And, quote, to be honest, it can go a variety of ways, completely different, but we are going to do it and we are ready." Not sounding the same triumphant note that they did ahead of the offensive last year. Although, look, I mean, the smart thing to do is always to downplay expectations and then to overperform so that you look good. So we have no idea. The General Milley, actually, the U.S. Top general, yesterday gave an interview where he said that the Ukrainians were, quote, well prepared, but said he didn't know how he thought it was going to go. Also, basically sounding the exact same thing. Also, the Russians, even though literally the offensive has just started, now say, actually, we have thwarted it. Don't worry. Let's go ahead and put this up there. The defense ministry put out a statement yesterday saying it has thwarted a major Ukrainian attack in Donetsk region. And they say that they show military vehicles under heavy fire and claim that they have killed 300 troops and destroyed 16 tanks. Something tells me that, just repelling a single attack, if that even happened, isn't exactly repelling the entire offensive. So I have no idea how this one is going to go. This is one of those wait and see moments. And actually, another important thing too, which is a story we're going to get to later on. Given media coverage, this story that we're going to talk about later in the show, just confirm. I'll give the tease away. It's basically the Ukrainian government is heavy-handed, let's just say, in terms of how it treats American journalists who depart from the narrative and report what's going on. Everyone needs to be very, very skeptical of every single thing that you see come out of Ukraine, from the Russian
That's right.
side, from the Ukrainian side. We are being lied to left, right, and center. And it's basically like you have to try and average the three and see maybe that one is directionally, especially in the middle of this conflict. So do not believe a word that the Russians say, and do not believe a word that the Ukrainians say about what's actually going on in the ground. This is truly like a complete wait and see moment about how exactly the actual battle turns out. So we don't know yet. We don't even really have confirmations in terms of maps. I looked for several from some open source intelligence analysts. The best that I have been able to find is just a general consensus that yes, it has begun. We'll see how it works out, Krystal.
Hey guys, ready or not, 2024 is fully upon us now, and Saagar and I have been brainstorming ways that we can really up our game for this critical election.
Yeah, we rely on our premium subs to expand our coverage, to add staff, to upgrade the studio. We just want to give you the best independent coverage of this election, which is possible. So if you can help us out, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com, or the link is down here in the description video. It really means the world to us, and if you like what we're all about, this is the best possible way to keep us 100% independent, working only for you.